Kim, we're back again.
We are.
How
How
you?
are you this morning?
Good. Everything's good on this end. I say it's good. I'm not going to lie. We came on. We were going to talk about habits, and when I was going to check in, see how you're doing, because the last time we had a video prior to the new year, we were all fired up, all pumped. How you doing with that?
Doing okay. I hit a little lull and I don't know what it was, but I kind of rejuvenated myself. I'm getting myself back into my daily habits, being consistent, and I'm noticing a change. I think it's really important. I think you notice the change, not just physically, but mentally, and how much energy you have throughout your day, and even just the happiness factor that you feel for yourself. So I'm thankful that I'm getting it going again, but it's easy to fall off.
Maybe that's the lesson in this. I think everybody thinks that you have to be consistent. If you fall off, you're done, but that's not the case. I don't think. I
You can
think
pick
you're
back up anytime, right?
right. But it's so hard because you almost feel defeated. And I came on today. I wanted to be all like gung ho about habits and how important it is. And I got kicked in the teeth the minute I woke up this morning.
Oh,
Um,
what happened?
well, I'm used to my habits, right? I'm getting up
Yeah.
at 4, and then I immediately come out here and I do what I need to do. It's my time to like either do videos or do the things that I know are going to put us on the path that we need to be on. No internet access. And right. So, and that's been happening a lot with me. And I think it's just, so you try to create these habits and sometimes it's beyond your control
Mhm.
and you're forced to fall off. But now it's, how do you deal with it? Do you lose your mind, which I felt like I was going to do today, this morning? I was literally, I was using my, just my phone this morning. Um, and it was 10 minutes before our call right now that it came back. So it's almost
Oh,
like I was being tested. And I don't handle it very well. I got to tell you, I'm one of these people that like, I need things to be a certain way. Don't say I'm OCD, but you never know. It could be possible. Uh, but you figure out, okay, how do you adapt? How do you overcome? What's your plan B? Is there a plan B?
right. Maybe there's not a plan B. Maybe the plan B is not to put so much pressure on yourself. Also, I think just as society as a whole, I feel like through this whole environment we've been in, everybody has been so gung ho, not just for the New Year's, but even prior to this, right? Everybody has been so gung ho about filling their cup. What is their spiritual guide? Like, what are they looking for? How are they fulfilling themselves? It's like we're in a spiritual freaking Olympics over here, and we could calm down. We could all like just understand that we're humans, and sometimes it's okay to just be.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily have to have a plan. It's good in business to have a plan, but
Yeah.
for just being a human, sometimes we just need to sit and breathe and exist and appreciate the now.
Wow. That's powerful. So I saw something. I think it was Gary Keller had put something out there that said that your professional growth is only as good as your personal growth. Which I was like, wow, that's pretty powerful. That's a big statement. So we try to grow professionally, but you can't grow beyond your personal growth, which was kind of neat. So I try to focus on that Pareto's rule, which is the 80-20 rule, and so you look at those things that you do 20% of the time that just move the needle,
Right.
and a lot of those have to do with habits, in my opinion. A lot of those are like, if you're mentally okay, if you're physically okay, if your mind is right, if it allows you to take those chances and be uncomfortable. But if those other things aren't, if, as you would say it, if you haven't leveled up, if you haven't, if you're not in the right space, it's really hard to do those 20%, those things that are deemed to be in the 20%. That's just me. What do you think?
I completely agree. I think it's just, your habits dictate who you are. And I think, part of it is creating your standards. Your standards are your habits. So, if your standard is you're going to, sit on the couch all day, how
Right.
much moving the needle are you doing? So you set your standards, which are your habits, and hopefully you stick with them, and hopefully you elevate them. It's thinking about, once you implement certain things and you get them going and they become ingratiated in your life, and it just now it is your habit. You don't even have to think about it. It's second nature. maybe it's just like everything else in our life. It's continuing education. And, what can you add on to that? Now, how else can you grow? How else can you expand? So it's constantly, I feel like as a human, we're always expanding our human design by being uncomfortable. If we're not making ourselves uncomfortable, we're not doing anything differently than we haven't done before. And if we're not doing anything differently than we haven't done before, we're just being stagnant. And what's the freaking point of living if you're just going to be stagnant?
So you're telling me that's why my internet wasn't working this morning, right? But you're right. I get it. It is. You're right. It's all about switching it up, taking chances, taking risks, and but that's easier said than done. You
It is.
know.
Most things are easier said than done, right?
Yeah. And again, that's the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
I agree. How do you take advantage of it, right?
Well, I think the first thing you need to do, right, is make a list of those things that absolutely make you uncomfortable, but are going to drive that needle forward. And then you make that other list of the 80% of the things that you are comfortable with, that you tend to gravitate back towards. And know that when you fall into one of those two categories, you're either stagnating or you're pushing the needle forward. So it's actually as easy as making a couple lists.
So your goal setting.
It's goal setting,
Yeah,
right? So this stuff's powerful.
it is.
So let's do on this next one. I'm really fired up because it's something that we do as a group that completely differentiates us from everybody else in the marketplace, which is sourcing deals. So that's the next one you and I are going to do. How about on Friday, if you're around? If not Friday, Saturday.
Sounds like a
Oh,
plan.
all right. Thanks, Kim.
See ya.